Tyler Scott says he's hungry and eager for an opportunity in week 2 to show what he can bring to the table. Caleb Williams also talks about what he needs to improve on in week 2, and we're going to talk about Houston Texans players the Chicago Bears need to look out for in their week 2 matchup. All that plus Mailbag right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host, Terry Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And so, of course, it's Friday. That means it's a mailbag day. I want to be clear here. I prioritize first-time callers on this mailbag. I think we only have one regular caller. That's Fred. He's the last voicemail today. But we're going to, because of the amount of voicemails we got after week 1, you guys are getting 4 mailbag episodes over the weekend. So you're getting 2 today. This one now for me. Bobby's going to drop an evening mailbag episode. Then you're going to get tomorrow morning's usual mailbag episode from Bobby and C-Dub. And then I'll be dropping an evening mailbag also Saturday evening. So we're going to try to catch up. We had over 30 voicemails since Monday, and we really want to. We appreciate you guys supporting us in the way that you have. So we're going to do everything we can to make it through as many as we can. We're not going to make it through all of them, but we're going to drop 4 mailbag episodes over the course of this weekend to get you guys all caught up and to get to all the voicemails, prioritizing first-time callers, but also trickling in those regular callers as well, because you guys have supported us for the longest. We want to make sure we get you guys in there as well. So if you don't hear your mailbag, your voicemail played, don't let that discourage you from calling in later on or just in other weeks. It's just this week, it was a lot of them. And I tell you this right now, your 4 and 5 time callers, I get it. You can call more than once. I'm not saying don't. But if you called in 4 times in over 24 hours, or I'm sorry, in under 24 hours, think about what you want to call in for before you call in. And because of the amount of voicemails that we're getting as well, we just do not, a 3-minute limit is it. If you have to call in and leave your voicemail and it takes longer than 3 minutes, we're probably not going to play the second part of it. So I just wanted to get that out there so nobody thinks we're ignoring them. We appreciate all the first-time callers. That's why we're prioritizing you guys today. Just wanted to get that out there. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and get into the content. So with the questions as far as Rome Odunze with his grade 1 MCL sprain, Keenan Allen's probably going to play. It's a heel injury that he's been dealing with for a while. But Tyler Scott is apparently ready for his opportunity. Saying this comes from Coach Matt Eberflus. Tyler Scott, just opportunity. You're looking for an opportunity to crack in the door because it's a strong receiving group that we feel that we have this year. And again, we still got to prove it. But I would say opportunity. When that door is open, man, you take the opportunity and you run with it. And Tyler Scott saying this, following that up. I'm excited for this week. I'm hungry and eager, especially when you're sitting on the sideline game 1 and wishing you could be out there. I definitely have a little bit more of a chip on my shoulder. I love to hear that, right? I love to hear that players who don't get discouraged by adversity. And Tyler Scott is a player that the Bears drafted. They brought in here. And, he has a lot of speed. He had some issues with drops last season. But reportedly through this offseason, he built up great chemistry with Caleb Williams. And when you're looking at one of your top guys being down in Rome Odunze, possibly not playing in week 2, that chemistry with Caleb Williams could be a difference maker. And so we got to see it. First of all, Caleb needs to get in rhythm. This offensive line has to block for him. But if those things happen, right, it's going to go a long way in things getting a little bit better. So you want to put guys out there that Caleb Williams is comfortable with, he has familiarity with. And that's up to Tyler Scott and Caleb Williams to show that chemistry is real and something that could be a factor for the Bears in actual games. So to hear that Tyler Scott is ready and eager, listen, I hope it. He also followed it up by saying this. It's the same thing this week. Same film study, preparation, not letting the moment get too big. I got a year under my belt, played all 17 last year, so I'm a lot more comfortable. Probably last year at this moment, I would have been a lot more stressed out, intense, all in my playbook and feeling a little bit more nervous. But I'm a lot more relaxed this year, and I have a better mindset. And with that better mindset, hopefully comes better execution, right? So let's see that. Let's see what Tyler Scott has to bring to the table. The speed that he has, especially if we start attacking that middle of the defense, get more slant routes in there. Tyler Scott is somebody who can, especially with having those big guys in DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, as long as he's able to play as well, having those guys, out there and Tyler Scott with his speed being able to take more advantage of that, like we heard from Shane Waldron early in the offseason. It's about exploring mismatches. And that's what having a bevy of talent and weapons does for you. Now, you need your offensive line to step up. You need your quarterback to play well. You need your quarterback to connect on passes. So it's not saying that it's all on Tyler Scott, but I am very well looking in to see what Tyler Scott brings from last season, because we didn't see him week 1 to now week 2 against the Houston Texans and a defense that's going to be trying to attack Caleb Williams every single snap. With that said, Caleb Williams is definitely somebody that we all want to see improve and play better than what he did in week 1. A lot of anticipation built up. The crowd went crazy for Caleb Williams coming into the game for the first time. And you saw over the course of the game, that crowd tense a little bit more up at Soldier Field. Now Caleb Williams, has that first week under his belt. He clearly was nervous, but now how do you respond to that? That's one thing that I have said so often this offseason in regards to Caleb, is that it's not about him not making rookie mistakes. That's going to happen. It's about how quickly he learns from those rookie mistakes. So he's going to have an opportunity this Sunday against the Texans on Sunday Night Football at that. This is going to be a defense that's trying to get to him. You got Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter there. They're going to be trying to get to you. But Caleb Williams, for what it's worth, said this: we're here getting better. Just getting back out here, we must make sure we're focused on the small things, the details, whether it's myself, footwork, drops, things like that, or whether it's routes, whether it's the run game, hand placements, all these other things when blocking to make sure that in offense we're successful. And that's what you want to see. And following up by saying this: sometimes I rush my drop a little bit, not needing to. One specific route I think is of Rome Odunze, when I think it was a 10-yard route over the ball. I rushed my drop and tried to juice it there a little bit and miss. I didn't need to. Just trying to hurry up and get the ball to him, getting it in his hands as fast as possible so he can make magic and do what he does. So this shows a level of awareness from Caleb Williams. Now, you can have all the awareness in the world, but if we don't see it on the football field, it doesn't matter. So him saying this, just making sure I'm trusting the drop, trusting the reads, and getting through them, I would say that's probably the biggest thing that I'm focused on. And then my finishes on play fakes and or anything like that. Listen, Williams struggled. I've already went on the fact that there are some number 1 overall picks who went on to win Super Bowls, to be Hall of Famers, that had worse first games than what Caleb Williams did. But even with that said, we're not worried about other quarterbacks. We're worried about the Bears starting quarterback. And so Caleb has to show that progression. It's not, and I've always said, you're starting quarterback in the NFL. You're going to get an unjust amount of the acclaim and the blame. That's just what happens when you win and when you lose as a starting quarterback in the NFL. He has to be better. And the offense has to be better. It's not to take away that the offense has to be better. In every facet of what we do offensively, we need to be better. Execution is a big part of that. Play calling is a part of that. Quarterback play is a part of that. The pass blocking is a part of that. The run game is a part of that. We need to be better as an offense. We went out and got all these weapons, all these tools, and for what it's worth, with all the improvement, we didn't look like anything special or anything remotely into a successful offense. Now, yeah, we were playing a Tennessee Titans defense that is going to be tough this year, but listen, as we progress, we have to get better. And I'm glad that we got thrown what we got thrown and that we're facing the teams that we're facing early in the season. This is a learning curve for the Chicago Bears. And the fact that they're facing off against defenses, a lot of different looks. Yeah, they're both from the AFC South, but you got to be prepared for it. And so now facing some adversity, starting off where your defense saved your ass. What now can you bring as an offense? What do you bring? How do you rally your offense together as a starting quarterback in the NFL? That's what we need. That's what we want to see from Caleb Williams. And we'll see what he brings Sunday. But with that said, the matchup Sunday, who are some of the biggest players that can hurt the Chicago Bears on the Houston Texans? And, of course, the first one you got to look at is C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, through what he did through his rookie year, the growth that he had, winning a playoff game, getting pressure on C.J. Stroud can disrupt that whole offense. But it's not just him. Joe Mixon as well. You look at it, the Texans had over 400 yards in total offense last week, over 200 in the pass game, over 200 in the run game. You got to be able to disrupt both those things. So you look at the 3 weapons that they have, the 3 kind of biggest weapons to look out for: C.J. Stroud, Joe Mixon, and then you also have Tank Dell at the wide receiver position. If you can get these guys off their game, the defense can do that. That's going to go a long way in helping put your offense in a position where they don't have to match the points scored by one of the highest scoring offenses in the NFL in week 1. So hopefully the Bears are prepared for that. Seeing how they game plan for that is going to be really, really big, and one big thing to watch. That front 7, it has to be prepared, because if you're not, you're going to get cooked. And that's just the way it's going to be. You will absolutely get fucking cooked if you're not prepared. And so let's hope that the Bears are ready for that and the weapons. And then you look at the offense. What do the offense have to prepare for? You got Danielle Hunter there. You got to definitely get ready for him. You got Derek Stingley at the cornerback position, and you got Will Anderson. You got these guys. Listen, this is nothing to overlook. You got to be prepared. And if you're not, listen, it's going to be ugly for you if you're not. You look at those three guys. Danielle Hunter is a goddamn monster, bro. He's a monster, right? And so you're looking at that offensive line. They're going to have their work cut out for them every single play. And let's see what they bring. Let me know what you guys, who are the players that you are most concerned about on the Houston Texans carving up the Chicago Bears either on offense or defense? Let me know that down below. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. It's Friday. That means it's Mailbag Day. This first voicemail, this one's from Jay.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Jay. Just calling to kind of recap some stuff from the game that we did yesterday. First and foremost, like I called in and said last week, we got our hopes up way too high for this team. It had a lot to do with Hard Knocks. Everybody was projecting this team to be this powerhouse, and we get a little bit too excited. I expected yesterday to go kind of sort of what yesterday went like. Everybody is calling, Caleb Williams, a scrub, and they calling for a 10. It's one game. We all disappointed. Why? We got away from rookie quarterbacks having an opportunity to sit out and learn behind veterans to the average being in today's game, they getting in the game as soon as they get drafted. They're going to have mistakes. My man, he was poised as much as he could be. That was his first NFL game in regular season. Like, let's be real for a little bit. Yeah, he had some overthrows. Got it. The offensive coordinator was, trying to adapt to how the game was going. Got it. We ain't got it all figured out like we thought we was going to have it all figured out. It was the first game of the season, and we may have thought we should be further along than we were supposed to be. But guess what? This is the Chicago Bears, notoriously known for not having the greatest offense, having a decent run game, which did not show up yesterday, but notoriously known for not having the best offensive line, notoriously known for having a good defense. And guess what? A lot of those things that showed up yesterday was defense and special teams. So chill. We got to chill. Everybody that's overreacting. I think Caleb Williams is going to be good. He didn't do the greatest, but at the end of the day, he's going to learn from it. I didn't see somebody that was panicked. I just seen somebody that was nervous. If he was panicked, it would have been a different story. He looked nothing like Bryce Young. And next thing I wanted to bring up was, I don't know where the hell we got Nate Davis from, but we need to go ahead and send him back. For however long he played in the game, I'm glad we took him out, but that dude needs to go back the hell where he came from. I'm not even as mad at Coleman Shelton as I am at Nate Davis, because Nate Davis is notorious and infamously upsettingly trash. That he's trash. I think he's poisonous to that entire offensive line. Braxton Jones played decent. Tevin Jenkins played decent. The right tackle, I can't even think of his name.
Listen, I disagree with the fact that I don't think anybody thought the Bears were going to be a powerhouse. I think we looked at the talent that the Bears had and said this is what they can compete for. Now, one thing that I've been saying here at Chicago Bears Central, and I know not everybody's been saying that, is that when I predict this Bears team to make it to the playoffs, it was largely in part due to the defense and the way that this defense can be one of the top. This is a playoff caliber defense, and I believe that. Now, the offense, it's always going to be how the Bears offense grows over that time to eventually how it comes together over time. Like I said, it's not going to be a well-oiled machine probably until week 6, week 7. That's where you're looking at this Bears team really at that point. After that bye week, I need them to be that well-oiled machine that's firing on all cylinders. But I think the Bears' success, especially early in the season, is going to come down to that defense. Now, that's not to say that the offense doesn't have its place in it as well. This offense has to perform, and it has to get to a place where they're being competent. But when you look at the reasons why the Bears may win games early on, that could be the defense. So I disagree that a powerhouse necessarily, but I understand what you're getting at. Yes, Bears fans are disappointed by Caleb Williams. He's a rookie quarterback. I understood, and I've been telling the guys all offseason, he's a rookie quarterback. Arguing with people who said, oh, well, we got to expect more from him. And look at what C.J. Stroud did. Plus, he got the generational tag. Listen, you're not going to see that. Not every generational quarterback they become generational in the way that they prepare, they learn, and they grow. expecting the quarterback to come in week one with also that defense that they face and to look generational in week one. I hate to tell you guys, that was never going to happen. Now, I did expect them to look better. I didn't expect them to look that bad, but hopefully we start seeing more of that offensive success, Jay. But I completely agree with you there. Thank you for that voicemail. Let's get into this next one. This one's from Marvin.
What's going on, Hayes? Marvin. Start off by saying I'll let you know why I've been missing in action, but I want to get to this game first. First, I want to give some kudos out to special teams, man. I think we played well on special teams, setting the field position, blocking the punt to keep getting us back in that game. Second, I want to give kudos to the coaching staff. Great halftime adjustments. You guys noticed we were getting run over on that right side of that defense. They made the necessary adjustments. Kind of slowed it down a little bit. And third, I want to say to everybody, young quarterback, offense, a little shaky starting off. It's to be understood. Most important thing is the win. We all know that. And third but not least, I want to give kudos to the defense. We know that this team played poorly offensively, but that defense stood up high. And I want to say something about one player on that defense. I want everybody to look out for this guy, and that's Darrell Taylor. Listen, guys, this guy is a defensive end. He had 8 tackles yesterday, 2 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. Khalil Mack, Montez Sweat kind of number. We get that. I think we're going to be pretty good with him being on the opposite side of Sweat. Now, remember I said they were getting run over kind of on that right side. That's the side he was playing on because he's not too good on the run, against the run. The Bears made the necessary adjustments, kind of slowed that down. All in all, a win is a win. We got a lot of work to do on the offense. Defense can get better too. We sure up a couple things, but I just want to say, Bears, I think, will be okay. Young team, young offense. Think they're going to gel a little bit. And, hey, I will be getting back with you because I'm still a Bulls fan, too. Just hadn't hollered at you in a while. But peace out to everybody. Look out for Darrell Taylor.
Listen, 100% agree with you. Darrell Taylor is the one to look out for. Like, his production per snap count is ridiculous. Like, what the production that he's able to get, and I don't just mean in week one with those 2 sacks for the Bears. I mean over his career. If you look at the percentage of the snaps that he plays and the production that he's put up, it's ridiculous. I could see why the Bears got him and traded for him over bringing in Yannick Ngakoue. Similar production, much lower snap count, right? So I think that he can absolutely be a weapon. And like I said in an episode earlier this week, the lineup of Darrell Taylor, Montez Sweat at the edges, then you got your interior of Javon Dexter and DeMarcus Walker. That is, again, not the starting. I'm not saying that should be the starting, but that's a lineup when you need to get pressure on the quarterback. Look out for how that lineup performs. I completely agree with you there. The defense and the special teams definitely stand out in week one, and the offense was extremely shaky. Let's see how it develops over time. Thank you for leaving that voicemail, Marvin. All right, let's get into this next one. This one's from Gold Blue.
What up, my boy? This is Gold Blue from the 901. You hear me? Funky Town, long time no hear from. Just chiming in on week one. It feels empty, but I'll take that. But I'm looking at polls by the trade deadline. If that offensive line keep doing what it's doing, and we are above 500, I'm looking for polls to do something with that number 2 pick. That second round pick, that extra second round pick for offensive lineman. If they under 500 and it's week 8 past the deadline, Bears fans, be prepared. He gonna go in the draft. Offensive lineman and defensive lineman. So that's my thought on it, and I believe that's what's going to happen. Because right now, Cole Michelle is looking like ass out there, and I feel that Matt Pryor should be somewhere along that line because he did a hell of a job. He did a hell of a job during the preseason. So we need to look in on that, man. But just chiming in, man. Be looking out for me on them super chats, baby. I got y'all. You hear me? T-Dub, hey, Bobby. Boy, when we losing, boy, and I turn on that YouTube podcast, boy, y'all be looking like if looks could kill. You hear me? But yeah, I'ma holler at you, boss. Bear down, baby.
Here's the thing. I would like to think that Poles will make a move for the offensive line over the season before the trade deadline, just if they keep looking this bad. I said it before. If you go into week 3 and your offensive line looks as bad as what it did in week 1, right? After that week, or come out of week 3, I should say, I think Ryan Poles, if he's not already on the phone, is definitely going to be on the phone. Now, he could be on the phone. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to hear a deal that he likes. That's another thing. Ryan Poles isn't going to make a deal if he feels like he's giving up too much. But I do think either way, this offseason is going to be trenches heavy for the Chicago Bears. They got the weapons. I feel like if they lock those guys in, which most of them are, and they feel confident in them coming out this season regardless, that Ryan Poles, we seen it. When he focuses in on something, he gets it done. And I think he's going to get that offensive line and more work on the defensive line done this upcoming offseason. Then you got some interesting things to evaluate. Kieran Amagaje, how does he look heading into year 2? Austin Booker, Daniel Hardy, how do these guys look after their first full season? But I think outside of that, we're going to have some very trenches-heavy focus in the offseason. And, maybe that's me giving too much credit to Ryan Poles, but that's the precedent that he set. That's the precedent that I'm going to believe for now. And hopefully that ends up being the case because he's going to have the tools at his disposal to do it. Let's see if he does. All right, let's get into this next voicemail from somebody who calls themselves Too Cool.
All right. This is Too Cool out here from Cali via Chicago. First time caller, long time subscriber, and long time Bear fan. All right. I just want to say what I think everybody's missing. I've been a Bears fan for a long time, and these last few years have been tough. I've watched the Bears play games and lose the games that they should have won. This time, we fought back and won. I haven't seen that in such a long time. It was glorious. I'm telling you, to see a team fight back and win. The thing about Justin is he was great, but he would lose the game. This is a game that last year and the year before, we lost. We fought back and won. The defense played incredibly. Offense, okay, all right. It was a little disappointing. And I was mad in the first half. But you know what? When it came down to it, they got into position, got us the field goals that we needed. Defense, yeah, they won the game. But the defense, sometimes I've seen them lose games. So I know the offense can be better. I know the defense is solid. They ain't going to play that bad every game. This is a first game. Watch that offense come up. Watch them get better. With all those stars, they're going to blossom. And the defense is solid. We're going to have a great ride this year. Thanks for listening. Chicago up, Bear down. I'll be calling again.
All right. Listen, the Bears getting a comeback win is great. Make no mistake about it. I love the fact that how the Bears, even the offense, didn't, give some costly mistakes as the defense and special teams and stuff. Like they didn't turn the ball over. We kept the Texans from scoring any points the Titans from scoring any points in the second half of that game. All great, right? The offense, let's hope that they don't play that bad every game, because if they do, it's going to be a long season, brother, a long season. So let's hope that that's not the case. I don't think that that's going to be the case, but again, until I see it, you got to show me. That's the place that I'm in. You got to show me, and let's hope that they start showing us in week 2. All right, let's get into the next voicemail. This one's from somebody who calls themselves Craig.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? It's your boy Clay, repping Atlanta. Just had a few words that I want to say about the offense. I feel as if they didn't utilize the tight ends as much as they should have. I feel as if they was very predictable as an offense. Anytime that Caleb Williams got up under the center, I felt that it was either going to be play action or it was going to be a handoff. And more times than likely it was a play action rollout. And, that was something that they was doing in the preseason. It was very predictable. This next game, they're gonna have to utilize these slants. They're gonna have to utilize our tight ends. They're gonna have to utilize the weaknesses. Just take advantage of the weaknesses that the Texans provide. And the thing is, the Texans don't have many weaknesses, but don't continue to play into their strengths. We need to play more into our strengths. We have an amazing offensive team, and we need to take advantage of that. So if they do that, I believe that it will be a very good game. I'm hoping that they, have a better game plan and mix it up more. Don't just get into this spread offense and start playing the passing game, trying to get Caleb Williams to be this all-star amazing quarterback. Let him continue to develop. Incorporate that run game, incorporate these tight ends more, incorporate this plan so he can get into a rhythm. I know you all talked about that, and that's all. You guys keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you. And, Chicago Bears up. It's Chicago up, Bear down, but I'm repping Atlanta, so y'all hold it down.
And voicemail wasn't too crazy. But with that said, yeah, the offense was extremely predictable. Now, how much of that was the Titans forcing them into that? How much of that was the bad play calling? How much of that was the offensive line not performing? How much of that was Caleb Williams? Like, it comes down to a lot of it, right? But the team has to play better next game. That goes without saying. And so, we are facing off a team against the Houston Texans that has weaknesses, but not that many, especially when you look at how they played in week 1. So this is going to be a big game to show the growth and more potential in what this offense can be, right? And so, yeah, we can't be predictable. We can't, try to get too cutesy out there in the fact where we're doing a pass play where we clearly should be doing a run. Like, you can't run a predictable offense. When you become predictable against any defensive coordinator that's halfway decent, they're going to expose you. And so let's hope that the predictability just came from the Bears not executing the way that they needed to and not from that's just the way that this offense is going to be. Because if that's the case, it's about to be ugly. All right, let's get into the last voicemail for today. This one's from my boy, Fred.
Hey, yo, Hayes, what up? What it do, man? It be your boy Fred, man. Hey, I was sitting here thinking, man, we need to make some changes on that O-line or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to have Ryan Bates playing center and put Matt Pryor at that guard to protect this boy Caleb, because if the Bears don't make no changes on that O-line, they're going to get that boy killed. And it's sad that we got to keep constantly going through this shit where every time we get a quarterback that the O-line's not being fixed. Ryan Poles needs to stop making these decisions on getting these mediocre-ass offensive linemen. He needs to get some dogs on that fucking line, man, because this shit is fucking terrible. I was goddamn blowing my goddamn gasket during the game, goddamn it, shit. Watching that boy Caleb getting his ass demolished. The receivers couldn't even make plays like that how they want to, because you got this dumbass GM. Now I'm calling him dumb because he's pissing me off by getting these mediocre ass linemen. Only lineman that ain't mediocre on that line is fucking Darnell Wright, because he drafted him in the first round with the 10th pick. But for him to have a quarterback that he drafted number 1 overall, like, come on, man. Like, everybody try to blame Justin. This is the same shit Justin was going through when he was our quarterback. Like, why, as a GM, would you want to sit here and watch those number overall pick get destroyed? And we got hella talent on this team this time. For us, to be playing like that. Because that boy Caleb's going to need some time. Every quarterback needs a good offensive lineman. And another thing, they need to stick to the running game when they play the Houston Texans Sunday night. Because Houston's not playing with their ass, man. So I hope they be ready, you know what I'm saying? Because Houston coming and they bringing it. And Houston got a way, better team than us. Because, shit, at least they know how to, to get offensive linemen to protect their damn quarterback, unlike us. Ryan Poles need to get his shit together, stop fucking getting these mediocre-ass offensive linemen and shit, and get us some fucking dogs on that line that can protect this boy Caleb and shit. Because they going to get this man killed, and then people going to say he's a fucking bust and all this bullshit about him. So, with that being said, man, I'm leaving my message, to let you know, man, like how I feel and what I've been seeing, because we can't keep going on like this. Ryan Poles got to stop picking these mediocre-ass offensive linemen. Maybe he like picking them because he was mediocre when he was an offensive lineman when he played back in the day. I don't know. But he better get some dogs on that line, because if he don't, we're going to be looking at missing the playoffs again, and somebody's going to get fired. Like, I don't know, man. I just don't know what to say, man. Chicago up, bet out on nothing. Let me know what you think.
All right, Fred. Here's what I'll say, brother. I don't want to act like Fred. Sometimes, bro, you got to calm down. Like, you got to stop calling people bitches and all this type of stuff. Like, I get it, bro. But like, as we're growing as well, and don't get me wrong, we're going to go off. Like, get better analysis, Fred. Like, you literally are one of the smartest football fans I know. Like, I know that of you. And you can analyze without attacking people. Like, even with saying Ryan Poles was, come on, bro. Like, let's not act like Poles hasn't invested in the offensive line. He did. He gave Nate Davis a $30 million guaranteed deal. Nate Davis was one of the better offensive linemen on the market that year. He drafted Darnell Wright. He got Braxton Jones, and Braxton Jones ends up developing into the starter, still has some things that he needs to work on. He went and added a bunch of depth pieces that are really good that can play multiple positions. Ryan Bates performed extremely well. But again, when your offensive line is so bad, it's going to take time. So, yeah, he got mediocre pieces. I don't dispute you there. We all know that. But you're talking about free agency. It's going to It costs so much to get offensive linemen in free agency that I can understand why maybe Ryan Poles prioritized the weapons first, and then now he can focus in the draft on offensive line, and then you can get some young guys who are cost effective, because it does cost a whole lot to get offensive linemen that are proven. It just does. That can be some of the most expensive non-quarterback positions in the league. And so when it comes down to that, that's part of the reason why. I get it. We're not happy with where the offensive line is. I'm not saying that we should be. I'm not saying that any of that, right? We are not happy with where the offensive line is. He did invest in it. Those investments have not paid off. Now, get to the drawing board. Let's see what you got, because now it seems like the final puzzle, we got to still see what Caleb is going to turn into, things like that, right? So I'm not saying take away from that. But if the final puzzle is getting an offensive line, that restricts your focus, Pose. So you got to go out there and get it done. And let's hope that he can. But let's not act like even getting Kieran Amagaje, a player that most people agree has a starting level ceiling, he just has to get healthy, right? So let's see how it develops over time. I get it. We want it now. You're not wrong for wanting it now, especially while we got the quarterback. You're not wrong. But it takes some time. Everything isn't going to be solved in one offseason. And when you look at how much Ryan Poles did change, if he would have focused more on the offensive line and then we wouldn't have money for weapons, then we'd be talking about Caleb not having the weapons at his disposal. So I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. I just think the perspective there, we got to have perspective on the case of you're not going to fix everything in one offseason. And now that he's eliminated what he needs to focus on in other ones, next year in the draft and offseason, really, as of right now, offensive line, maybe another edge. We don't know. We'll see how Austin Booker, Daniel Hardy progress. Maybe another young safety to eventually take over for Kevin Byard. But other than that, it's offensive line. So, let's hope that that's the case, brother. But all right, thank you guys for leaving those voicemails. Make sure you guys are tuned in and following us at Chi Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. That's thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.